What's going down, people? TK coming at you. Just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a background about me. You know, I came from really nothing. I came from Compton, California, where, you know, a lot of people didn't really have much, didn't really do much, and wasn't expected to be much. But, you know, California has a lot of diverse neighborhoods, and every neighborhood is segregated to its level of poverty. So your zip code identifies you and supposedly zones you into what you're entitled to. But luckily I was able to get out into different zip codes and wasn't relegated to the one I grew up in. So I saw other people in California. They had more, they did more. And my mind was always in the thought process of, let me learn what they're doing. Let me learn what they know, so that I can not be in such a poor status. So that's the way I always looked at things. I always looked at things in terms of, okay, let me learn what the super rich people know and then implement some of the same strategies so that I can get the same results. So I've always come at finance from the standpoint of doing what the people who have it already are doing. So the more I dove into that, the older I got, I started learning things. I started learning things that the super rich do, learning their tactics and their strategies. And then it came to the point where I wanted to share those items with other people so that they can be uplifted, they can be empowered, and that they can also make a difference in their own lives by utilizing some of these strategies. But what I come to find out is that poor people don't want to be helped. The average person is not very open-minded, and they're not really interested in learning anything that you have to say or offer or do or give. So it's like I always see myself in a position where, who am I? Who am I to give a strategy that the super rich use? And then that's the way people look at you. It's like, you know, no matter what you say or what you offer or what you give, they're just not interested. So I'm put in a position where the only person I can help is myself. Because people are closed-minded to the opportunity and just don't give a fuck about learning something that can help them financially. And then anytime you give something to somebody, they challenge it. When I taught a class for a year on gold, very few people actually purchased gold. And constantly in the class, the main thing people did was challenge me on why should they have gold. So I can't educate you on the validity of having tangible asset like gold over having a non-tangible liability like paper money that everyone loves and chases. And people in the class say things like, well, if gold is so valuable, then why is a company selling it to us? Or when I get the gold, what do I do with it? So people can't be helped. The people who do join and actually start to buy gold, eventually stop buying gold as if it became less precious because they're no longer interested in buying it. So if you transition from gold, like I have, and you get into electronic money, cryptocurrency, and you start talking about Bitcoin, the ears are just as bad, if not worse, than they are towards gold. You know, it's like gold, silver, Bitcoin, same thing. I'd rather have paper. I'd rather be in the stock market. I'd rather still be a slave to inflation. I'd rather ignore everything you have to offer or say. And that's the shit that I deal with all of the time. So I'm not in a position to help anyone. I'm not in a position to share any information. Who am I to share something that the super rich do? What kind of human being can take the time to learn what the 1% do? And then if you do learn that information, who are you to share it? Because the average person is not interested in listening or learning or changing their life or doing anything other than going to work, paying bills, and being a fucking slave to the matrix. Everyone around you are going to close their ears, they're going to be ignorant, and they're not going to give a fuck about what you've implemented, what you've learned, and what you have taken the time to set your own life up. Because think about how the 1% of the world have always used Cambridge Street PPP. And when I was introduced to Cambridge Street Empinology PPP, and I started to give that information to the common folks, well, I've never heard that word, Cambridge Street. What do you mean PPP? And how is it the super rich always have used this to stay rich and stay ahead of everybody else? So why would a common person, why would a slave debt person want to participate in a Cambridge Street program? So think about that. Why would a poor person want to do the same thing that the super rich do? One guy said, well, I've never heard that word that you use, and I don't even know how to Google it. So can you type it? So I said, okay, I don't know if you're being honest and you're trying to learn, or if you're just being a smart ass and you're trying to mock me. But the word is Cambridge Street. He was like, what are you even saying? Like, what is that? Cambridge Street / Empinology. And Private Protection Program, PPP, is a banking method that exists within fractional reserve system that allows you to multiply a principal. And as that principal gets multiplied, you receive payouts. Now, typically, participation within a Cambridge Street program is between $5 to $10 to $500 million. But on an individual level, if you participate in a co-op, that minimizes your costs toward the same goal and the same amount of multiplication. So you can choose to participate in chemistry through a co-op. But who am I to teach you about that? Who am I to expose you to this information? The issue is that the average person doesn't want to learn. I've been making these videos online for 3 years, and I've been talking about gold, silver, Bitcoin, and now chemistry. And not only do I get about freaking 3 to 4 views on my videos, nobody is interested in what the fuck I have to say. So the last laugh is when I set my own life up financially and I get my payout. But my karma will be that it's not that I didn't try to help other people. My karma will be that people just didn't want to fucking be helped. So understand that my goal is to empower the very few people that give attention. The 4 people that watch my videos, Google chemistry. Figure out that you can multiply your money and participate in a quantum easing on a personal level, because you're going to get involved in a co-op PPP. Realize that gold, silver, and Bitcoin are tangible assets that you can not only save and build, but then leverage against. Understand that the key that super rich use to stay rich is leveraging assets. And when you're smart enough to not only position yourself heavy in assets, then leveraging becomes a normal everyday event, as opposed to debting, which is what the average sheep does. So you get off of credit and then you get on to actually leaning against assets when you want to pay for something. Completely different way of living, thinking, and existing. So that's what I have to offer in a summary nutshell. But who am I to offer that to the average person?